Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 are good games, maybe even masterpieces. Ed Boon and John Tobias were looking for something different for their next game. They wanted to improve Mortal Kombat's system more since the last two games. So they probably said, let's make it faster and have more unique characters. And then it happened. Before we begin, I will be looking into 3 games in parts: Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and Trilogy. I wanted to put them together because all of them are the same with a few additions and adjustments to each game. Most copies of Mortal Kombat 3 through Trilogy are different for each system. I can't recommend any game consoles like the Sega Genesis, for example. But if you want, you can get the arcade version at Arcade 1UP if you have the money and space for it. Now, on to Mortal Kombat 3. The third installment of Mortal Kombat is faster. This way you can make more damaging combos. I like it. Every character has different ways to make combos. Some people like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 for its much simpler and slower fights. The setting of Mortal Kombat is very interesting, and some of the stages take place in Earthrealm. For example, the streets, subway, a graveyard, and a dock. There are interesting places besides those, like the Soul Chamber and the church. The cast of characters are not the best due to better and more characters in Ultimate Mortal Kombat. I'm not saying that the cast of Mortal Kombat 3's characters are bad. They all play smoothly and fit the setting really well. It gave us Cabal, Sindel, Striker, Shiva, Nightwolf, Cyrax, Sector, and Smoke, who is a secret character you can unlock. The story of Mortal Kombat 3, Liu Kang defeats Shao Kahn in the second game. Shao Kahn gets fed up with the tournaments and decides to invade Earthrealm without the tournaments.
Daring today, aren't we?
Also, Johnny Cage dies. Unfortunately, there's not much story besides character endings. The main story goes on until Mortal Kombat 4. Nothing changes story-wise. Because Ultimate Mortal Kombat and Trilogy have the same story, with more characters, Mortal Kombat 3 took a different approach to the series, but the next game is more of an expansion for Mortal Kombat 3. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. It didn't take long for Midway to make another MK title. It was even made in the same year, 1995. So what's the point of buying Mortal Kombat 3 when you can get more characters and more stages? The only reason to get Mortal Kombat 3 is if you own the collection of all games, or it just so happens that you have an old copy from a relative. There's not much to talk about for Ultimate, besides more characters and stages. However, there are animalities which turns you into a spirit animal to kill the opponent. I forgot to mention that Scorpion isn't in Mortal Kombat 3, but he is in Ultimate. Maybe they ran out of time and decided to put him in the expansion. He was supposed to be in the game, but never made it. If you want to play as Scorpion, then Ultimate or Trilogy is your game. For the new characters, you can play as Jade, Katana, Reptile, Ermac, Scorpion, Classic Sub-Zero, and Mileena. All of them are really fun to play, and I like how they put Ermac into the game. Now that there's not much to talk about, so let's move on to Mortal Kombat Trilogy. Mortal Kombat Trilogy is my favorite in the retro 2D era. It combines everything you can play as, everyone, even the bosses, which is cool but gets very boring in tournaments and player versus player. This version of Mortal Kombat 3 is very interesting. During the time it was published, a new home console would appear, which is the original PlayStation, and it came on a CD and not a cartridge. So if you want to experience Trilogy in its full glory, get PlayStation or newer consoles. Because the N64 didn't have much memory, not all characters made it. If you still want to collect them all, this was the last of the retro 2D era. However, there is Mortal Kombat Mythology, which I might get into in a later video. Trilogy is the same as all the other versions, so not much to talk about. But I think there is something to mention, which are the fun facts. Let's start off with Mortal Kombat 3. In the development of Mortal Kombat 3, Sector and Cyrax were nicknamed Ketchup and Mustard. In the subway stage, you can see the two names of the creators of Mortal Kombat, Boone and Tobias. If you switch their names backwards, it will be Noob Saibot, and Noob is one of the ninja characters. Now onto Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. There is a purple ninja named Rain. He is a Prince of Edenia, which is one of the realms. Rain is referenced to Prince and one of his songs, Purple Rain. It's a really cool reference. Shiva is a stop motion action figure. She is the first 4-armed fighter that you can play as. In Trilogy, they added Johnny Cage as a playable character, but the actor who originally played as Johnny Cage, Daniel Placina, was not in it. He advertised a game called Bloodstorm, and since everybody didn't work for Midway, he was instead replaced by a new actor who was Chris Alexander, and he played as Johnny Cage in Trilogy. This was the first time a secret character named Chameleon appeared, which was either a male or female ninja. They also have every special move from the ninjas. We won't see Chameleon as a playable character until Mortal Kombat Armageddon. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.